Good afternoon. I just fell asleep a little bit, had a dream, and I was going to document that because it was kind of groovy. So I'm just kind of doing the same thing I always do, just trying to build myself up for this old journey that's gotten a little bit rough, going down a rocky road, so to speak. But in this, I was back in Slaughters, Kentucky, in a little trailer that we had way out in the country. And it was a groovy little place, kind of a valley surrounded by hills, a little kind of a creek, stream thing kind of going in front of the trailer. And there was a few people just milling around. And I remember seeing one fella out there kind of looked like he was picking up things, look at him, put them back down. And I had the lights off, but I was just kind of peeking out the window. But then after a little while, I didn't really care. So I turned the lights on and I started painting a picture. And then when I looked out, he was out there looking in. And I went to wave at him, but it spooked him a little bit. And he kind of quickly turned around and just kind of went his way. So I stepped outside, and pretty soon I hear Dad's voice, and he's coming down one of the hills with two other familiar voices. And I don't think I saw him, but by the sound of it, it was Mark Rich and Forrest Maxey. And they came down to that valley and just kind of sat and just chatted with Dad. And I kind of kept my distance there, and I thought, boy, that is groovy. But before you know it, I'm now in a metropolitan area in a big old school of some kind, and I wanted to get out of it and around the corner, but I couldn't find a decent exit. Every door led to a corridor. It didn't lead to an outside exit, but I saw one that would open up. You had a little corridor and then you saw the outside there. But I was in a car kind of driving inside the building. Well, it's crazy, right? So I'm like, you know what? It ain't going to hurt anything if I just open that door, drive down those steps, open second door, and just go. So I got out that way and finally found another building I wanted to go in. And when I did, I kind of walked in there and looked around a little bit, and I knew I was being drawn to that place. And I walked down there, and then I saw a fairly tall fella that I used to work with named Mark, also at Convacare. And he was in a group of people that was watching some kind of something going on, but they were all standing up, kind of listening to this in-service, for lack of a better word, that was going on. And he saw me, and he kind of cut out of his position and went over, and we went in another room, and he gave me a hug, and then another one that almost like bear hug knocked me over, and then went back to his thing because he had to finish his in-service. I went past a room where Karen that owned Freedom Medical was, but in my mind I knew she was on vacation. And she wasn't going to be in there, so that room was all dark. And I thought, boy, I kind of missed her, but maybe she'll be off vacation and I'll be able to see her soon. And then I just kept going, and each time I would just find a friend or somebody I knew that seemed to be somewhat of an encouragement. And then I just kind of woke up and kind of thought about it. That building, I wish I knew where it was, because that was such a drawing place that if that was a standing building here in Evansville, I probably would have went to it and just walked around to see who all I saw. But I didn't. But I consider those dreams a blessing, really. But I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I don't know. It's sort of a gray day, looks like rain, but it might be dry enough I could get the front yard mowed before it starts raining again. But you guys have a great rest of your day, and just remember me. I always consider prayer the same as focused love. So if somebody says, well, I don't really pray, well, send me some focused love. That will do the job, and in my mind it's the same thing. You have a good one. Bye.